keep thinking, what is all of this for? And then I realized, an orgy. Okay, Nesta is growing on me. Is she gonna fuck the house next? Stop the smelling. Hello fellow book nerds, this is Gabby and today we're going to be talking about A Court of Silver Flame by Sarah J Maas. So if you don't know, A Court of Silver Flames is the fourth book in A Court of Mist and Court of Thorns and Roses trilogy, oh not trilogy, a series now, by Sarah J Maas, and I read it. I mean, at first this series was supposed to be only a trilogy and now we're getting a whole nother trilogy that all comes together into a 6-book series. The first section of the review is going to be spoiler free, but then we're going to jump into spoilers, so for now you're okay. In the first book we follow Feyre, and Feyre lives with her two mean sisters and her father, and they're all like in they're all in poverty and they are struggling to feed themselves. Therefore Freya goes to provide food for her family, and on one of her hands she ends up killing a fae, and as a punishment she has to go live in a castle with this other fae, and basically it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling. So this series we follow one of the evil sisters, mean sisters. They're not really evil in the story, but they are definitely negligent, and this is the oldest sister, Nesta. I don't even know where to put my thoughts. I think the spoiler section is going to be super fun, but let me just summarize it for you quickly. I didn't like Nesta before this book. I thought she was an insufferable, mean, selfish character, and I had no clue how Sarah J Maas is gonna convince me otherwise. Nesta has no redeeming qualities. She's an awful, mean-spirited person that I don't want to follow. Somehow she made me like her. I thought the book was too long, meandering, but quite entertaining, really sexy. So it used to be considered a young adult, but I think it's now new adult. I think it's just fully adult. I mean, no, actually new adult is a very, very fitting label for this because there's so much sex. So much sex. But somehow it's not mature enough to be adult. It's just kind of like in that in-between, you know, when you're like 20 and you want some of the sexy times, but you don't necessarily have all the full range of emotions yet. Or you have too many emotions, and that's kind of the sweet spot. So I think new adult is perfect. I really hope new adult takes off as a genre. That being said, I do think if I was younger I would enjoy the book more. I mean, I ate that stuff up. In the end I gave it 3.5 stars. I did enjoy it. I think if you're a big Sarah J Maas fan, this is a really solid entry. I'm quite excited for this new series. I kind of have no idea where it's going. If you're not a Sarah J Maas fan, I would not read this without reading her other series unless you like really don't care, but I really don't see how you could be not confused and enjoy yourself if you didn't read any of the other books. They are quite connected. Every single character basically, except for some exceptions, are plugged from the other book series. So I would really read the other ones if you're interested in this one. If you like romance, if you like fantasy romance, if you like sexy times, yeah, read this book. I mean, it has all of that. Even just for the sexy times alone, I think Sarah J Maas is actually pretty good at writing that. It had less of those cliches that Sarah J Maas loves putting in. You know, there was only like a dozen unleashed themselves, not like 50,000. So, you know, I think this ones are actually an improvement, and I did enjoy my time. I have so many spoiler-filled thoughts, so I'm gonna put a spoiler warning here for the book. If you haven't read it, probably go away unless you don't care. Alright, so I thought it'd be a fun idea to read my notes app journey from my phone, because I was reading the book, I was like making notes, but they weren't like, oh, I like this plot point. They were more like my actual thought in the actual moment. Like this wasn't the plan to begin with, but once I read them back to myself, this is prime content. So I'm just going to read all of my notes, which is basically summarizing how I felt at every point of the book, and then we're going to get into like plot and characters and themes, okay? No wonder this book is over 700 pages long if we get the same information run down on every single page. It's creepy how they can smell each other's hornies. I think I meant horniness. It's creepy how they can smell each other's horniness. Stay out of your friend's sex life. Also, can we stop having illusions to Riz and Feyre having sex? Now I want to threesome Cassian, Nesta and Azriel. Oh my god, the scene where she's crying and he's kissing her and she's catatonic and everyone is in the room. I will puke. When will the orgy happen? Because these people are way too obsessed with each other's sex lives. But that would be a bit too queer for Sarah J Maas. I really like the female friendship. I keep thinking, what is all of this for? And then I realized, an orgy. Okay, Nesta is growing on me. Is she gonna fuck the house next? Stop the smelling. How many times do we have to hear how Riz is gonna kill everyone on the same page? What if Nesta ends up with Eris? Because Cassian is just a misdirect, like Tamlin was. I mean, he is the better dancer. I would not have taken Nesta for a dancer, but okay. Oh, Gabby, what about the actual plot? Stop it, loser, no one cares. Welcome to the 69th Hunger Games. Gwen is literally Katniss up in the trees. Where do we even go from here? Then let's, I guess, talk about plot and characters. I mean, so much happened, but also nothing happened. Where do I even begin? It was so slow. I mean, can we just all agree it was so slow and nothing really happened until what, like the 80% mark? And I said in my notes, like, no wonder it's 700 pages. We'll just get the same information over and over and over and over and over. Like, seriously, she recapped the other books, but the same exact informations from the other books, because I didn't mind her talking about the things that happened previously, because honestly I forgot most of it. Like, I didn't reread it or anything, so I kind of forgot, so I didn't mind. But then the same exact bit of information in the exact wording was repeated like 4 times within like what, 50 pages. I was just like, yeah, I'm not stupid, you just told me this idea. And it just kept happening, and the same things, we just keep talking about the same things over and over again, like their feelings, what they think about each other, blah blah blah. Like, okay, I get it, it's important, but why am I getting the exact same information like 5 times on the page? I don't know. I think this is Sarah J Maas's type of style of writing. I don't know if it's always annoyed me this much, but seriously, she needs to stop. But I kind of enjoyed it. I enjoyed what the book tried to say. I enjoyed the journey of the characters. I enjoyed the female friendship. I really loved how that was handled. I like the message of the book. I like what it was trying to do. I'm just saying, we probably could have done it in 400 pages. We didn't need 700 pages. But I guess she wanted us to feel the suffering just like Nesta did. Like, just kind of like 2 sex scenes. We'll still have like 20 of them, and the book will be 100 pages shorter. But all that being said, Sarah J Maas is a romance writer. Like, she's not really a fantasy plotter, you know what I mean? Like, basically all the backstory of the world was just King Arthur but retold, and then Valkyries are not like her own idea. So she takes from bits and pieces, makes it interesting into her own world, and I think that's completely fair enough. I mean, this is a romance story. That's why we get 20,000 sex scenes, because it's a love story, kind of. So I understand that. I don't really like blame her on the plot being so weak. I don't know, was the plot weak, or was it just that there was so little of it, or was it that this is more of a sit down, hang out and grow together book? I don't know. I didn't hate it. I didn't mind the plot. Like I said, I like the messages of it mostly. But I kind of don't know where we go from here, because I feel like Nesta's whole line was like, her whole arc was completed, and where do you go from now? She admitted that Cassian's her mate. She apologized to everyone, basically. She gave up her power for her sister, proving her love. She stopped being a shitty human. She made friends. Like, what else is there for her to do? Okay, let's treat this as a segue into the characters. So basically Nesta, right? Like I said, I did not like her before, and now I do. And I think the book did what it was supposed to do. She took accountability for everything. She hated herself. It all made sense. And she also hated herself for all the things I hated her for. I ended up quite liking her. I think she had a very good, powerful arc. I mean, it was all about PTSD and trauma and overcoming all of that, and overcoming mental health struggles, and overcoming your own self-hatred. And I think that was beautiful. I mean, that was really well done. We really got a good feel for her and all of her motivations, and I think that's fair enough. I really like Cassian, actually. I think he is just a really likable dude that probably takes way too much shit and doesn't even talk back. Like, the way she treats him, he just keeps coming back. Like, the guy has no self-respect, honestly. Good for him, I guess. He got the girl in the end. So I really liked him. I did not mind him at all. I think he is a solid character. He didn't have quite as much like growth as she did. I mean, assuming he's like a very old creature, right? He's done his growing. Yeah, I don't really see how he changed. He was like a very constant part of the story, while it was Nesta who was like up and down and back and forth and whatever. But like I said, I enjoyed her growth, so I think that's good. And even with Cassian, I mean, yes, he's very dependable and he's very constant, but I really like getting to know him and Azriel more. I feel like they really are cool characters that I really didn't get to know that well. I mean, we knew them a little bit, but it was Feyre and Risto. This book kind of made me lose all affection I had for Risto. Like, he's so much more annoying when you read about him from a perspective other than Feyre. Like, honestly, what a douche. I don't even like him anymore. I don't know what it is. Like, I love Riz. He's really like one of my favorite characters. And of course he's not perfect, but you know. But oh my god, he was so unlikable. And like, I understand he doesn't like Nesta, but I didn't like him with anyone. Obviously that was a big part of him being so stressed about Feyre and the baby. Like, fair enough, I guess, but it's just like, I was not Team Riz in this one, that's for sure. I think Feyre has gotten very docile. I don't know if that's the pregnancy or what. She seemed very like, just take it on the chest, let it go, meditation kind of thing. Nesta just kept slapping her and she was like, and then the other cheek, and then again, and the other cheek. The girl has some patience, because that's impressive. I'm really curious what's up with Elaine and Lucian. Elaine, I feel like she's got the hots for Azriel. I actually thought Gwyn had hots for Azriel as well. So maybe like the next book will be about Elaine and Azriel. I don't know. But this one, like I said, Nesta, I feel like she's grown. Where is it there left for her to grow anymore? I don't really see it. I feel like she's had a complete arc. So actually let me know if you know what's the next book about, because honestly I don't really care enough about the plotline with the Deathless one, which again, not an original creation. He's from the Russian folklore, but anyway, I don't really care about that plotline enough to read the next book, and I don't want to read another book from Nesta and Cassie's perspective, because we got everything we wanted. They're a couple, they're happy, probably gonna make babies soon. It's all very heteronormative, despite the fact that everyone talks about each other's sex lives. And like, if you make them break up, it's just like, we just went through this. Like, she pushed them away so many times. I don't want to read another book where she pushes them away. And if the next book she becomes a bitch again, yeah, I give up. So I really don't know where they're gonna go. Maybe Elaine. Like, I feel like she deserves her own story, because she's being shorts, whatever. But in fairness, I've realized that Elaine's the middle sister. I always thought that Elaine was the youngest sister and Feyre was the middle sister, but that makes sense in my head. But no, that bitch is a middle sister and she acts like a toddler and everyone's taking care of her, and I don't understand. Like, Feyre's like, oh, I always had to take care of Elaine. Fuck off, she's older than you. She should take care of you. I don't understand. I understood it before when Elaine was the youngest, and that's why both Feyre and Nesta were so freaking obsessed with taking care of her. She literally gives me Snow White vibes, like so innocent and hopeless and helpless that you just can't help it. Have you ever seen How I Met Your Mother, and where Katy Perry has the guest episode and everyone just calls her Honey because of everything? Like, I just want to be like, oh, Honey, with Elaine, but she's not that helpless. Like, I don't know, give her an arc, give her something to do. Explain to me why everyone treats her like she's a toddler, okay? Now that we're done with that topic, I wanted to chat about the female friendships, and I loved it so much. I think giving Nesta, the Gwyn and Myrn as friends was just so brilliant, because they humanize her so much, and obviously like she changed because of them, and I love that. I love the whole Valkyrie plotline. I really like how they're having the female unit. I think that's really brilliant. I like actually how it wasn't when Nesta wasn't one of the people who touched the stone at the end and got transported and awarded that status of the warrior, because I don't know, I feel like the whole thing with her losing like a big chunk of her power as well is really interesting, because everyone's always accused her of like, oh, she's gonna take this power and take over the world and all of that, but actually she proved that she doesn't care about that. She cares about her family, and she's failed Feyre so many times that it felt really fitting that finally like she did something not for herself. So I really like that actually. The whole last like Hunger Games bit, I actually had a really good time, because it was really tense, it was really stressful, you know. It's like when Feyre was doing those like tasks, whatever, at least something was happening. So yeah, I love the new characters. I love how they're interacted with Nesta, and I love the possibilities of their unit. I would like to learn more from them. I want a little romance for them. them, you know, it'd be cute. Overall, the book had its annoyances, like I said. Oh my god, all the smelling and the constant talking about Riss's and Feyre's sex life, and I hate this fact they can smell each other when they're, you know, excited. What's that about? I don't know how much you got from this review. It was just kind of me ranting about what I did like and didn't like. I gave it 3.5 because I did enjoy it, but it was a bit of a slog to get through. If I didn't have my audiobook, I don't know what I would have done. So overall, did I enjoy it? Yes. Did I end up liking Nesta? Yes. Will I read the next book? Probably. All is well that ends well. Anyway, that's it for my review. I'm gonna go before I lose my sight. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you thought about the book. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you end up loving Nesta? Did you not? Do you even like Riss anymore? Because I'm really not sure that I do. Is Eris gonna be the Riss and is casting them in the Tamlin? I highly doubt it now because they have the mating bond, and you know, like Sarge Maas, once you have a mating bond, that's the end game. Although Elaine has a mating bond and I don't think she cares. I actually really would love to see that when I was talking about Elaine's plotline. I think if she has a plotline where she actually rejects Lucian and gets with Azriel even though they're not mates, I want to see that. I think that'd be super interesting. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you could like, subscribe and comment, I would really appreciate it. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye!